Okay, so standing, toes forwards, feet hip width apart, and find what that means. I say feet hip width apart each time, don't I? But actually I kind of shuffle between the two, sort of slightly wider and slightly narrower works with different exercises. So feet, as long as they're pointing forwards and they're not pinned together and they're not super duper wide, then they're in a good position. Hands on your hips, roll and drop your shoulders and tuck your shoulders into two little pockets here. I quite often say tuck them into your back pockets, tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets, but actually it needs to be a little bit softer than that. So if you think about two little pockets up here that you're just dropping them down into, that places your upper body into a really lovely position. So your knees should be just that little bit soft. Good. A little bit of tension through your tummy to help tuck under your tailbone. So tucking the tailbone under and scooping and lifting up at the front. Good. So you should feel a little bit of tension forming through the body, just a nice gentle tension rather than blocking. And then if you just rock your weight from side to side, and you saw me do just a little shuffle of my feet there to find the right position to use while you rock side to side from one foot to the other. Good. Drawing in your tummy. Good. And the hands on the hips helps. All of that tactile feedback and putting your hands where you want to keep still, basically, holding it still. You should feel one glute squeeze and then the other glute squeeze. Good. And then settle somewhere in between. I want you to rock forwards and backwards and feel what the body has to do to control that movement, rocking forwards and backwards. Make sure you don't grip through your toes too much when you roll forwards onto your toes. Good. Lovely. And now it's a matter of bringing the feet a tiny bit closer to lift one heel and swap. And swap. We're pushing the heel down into the floor and squeezing the glute, keeping the bottom tucked under, keeping the chest open. So it's all about keeping those lovely positions of the body as you move part of the body. The knees should feel like they're going straight forwards each time, pushing the knee straight forwards. Good. And then pushing the heel down into the floor each time. You may be able to hear some clicking of my feet and ankles as we go, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of reassurance that that's relatively normal. Good. Nice. Just a couple more. Lovely. Both heels down. Take the weight slightly back towards your heels, squeeze in your tummy, and hopefully that means something now. We've done all of those rocks backwards and forwards. Now turn the palms to face up. Take your hands out to the side and then to the front. And there should be some kind of feeling of opening out the chest on these. Keeping your shoulders down, tummy scooped in. Great. And breathe. Lovely. Okay, take your hands out, arms out, straighten through the elbows. Make sure the arms are level. Elbows in, hands together. Good. And a little bit of visual feedback goes a long way. So when I film my Pilates sessions, I'm always looking at myself, or when I'm doing a Zoom session, I'm always looking at myself here. And it's just like looking in the mirror, to be honest. I always used to have one arm up and one arm down, quite dramatically like that when I did this exercise. That felt normal. But through the last 3 months of doing lots of Zoom sessions, I've actually corrected that, and it now feels normal to have the arms straight. So having a mirror in front of you goes a long way, or having your video on so you can see yourself goes a long way as well, so you can see those angles. And if all of that doesn't appeal to you enormously, just have a quick check from side to side. So pause and just have a quick check to make sure they're level, and then come in. Good. Taking the hands out to the side, turn the palms down, turn the palms up, and stay there. Try and rotate as far as you can, all the way down. How far round can you get your hands? How far round can you get them the other way? Good. Nice breath. It can feel quite dramatic through the arms, the pulling and the twisting of the nerves through the arms, with the arms out in this position. So don't be surprised that you feel quite a tugging feeling. It is quite normal. Good, unless you're getting a burning sensation. I hate saying quite normal on video because I just think, gosh, I don't want someone to think it's normal to have a burning sensation or some numbness or something like that. So those things you need to pay more attention to. Good, but even if you do get them, if you bring your arms down, if it goes instantly, it probably again just means that you have a particular tightness through that area. Good. So stepping the toes out, toes pointing outwards. Think as well about those knees pointing outwards. Take the weight back, hands on your hips, and lower and up, lower and up. Really, really thinking about those knees pointing straight out to the side. In fact, that's not a bad exercise. Let's use the arms to the side and down, palms facing forwards. Love the way I come up with new exercises sometimes. Quite often it's doing something by mistake. Brilliant. Let's go all the way up to the top as we squat down. Oh my gosh, that's good for one that I've just come up with. That feels really nice to do. Good. You might not get down as low as you would without that arm action. Brilliant. Good stuff. Let's do 5 more. 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. Hands on your hips again. Bend the knees and pulse your knees backwards. Pulsing back, bottom tucked under, chest open, chin tucked, lengthen up through the back of the neck. Squeeze in your tummy. And this you should feel in here, but you should feel quite deep in the hip joints as well, because that's where that's rotating from. Good. Can you lift your toes on one side and then toes on the other side? You will have to rock a little bit from side to side to be able to do that. But what you're having to do is hold a really strong position here in this squat. Nice. And try and control the foot down. I'm being a bit lazy there, allowing my foot to slap down. Nice. Come back up. Turn your toes in, heels in, toes in, and then you should settle back to a nice position there. Lovely. Okay, so I want you with the shoulders to push all the way forwards, lift all the way up, back, round and down. So big, big shoulder movements. Forwards, breathe in, breathe out as they come back round and down. In as they come forwards and up, out as they come back round and down. In as they're forwards and up, out as they're back down and round. Chin to your chest, up, drop back, and up. There'll be all sorts of stretches. Now, some of you, chin down, up. This one will feel quite vulnerable, especially when you come back up. Cool, so work on that. Work on tightening through your neck. Forwards, up, backwards. Use those neck muscles to pull you back up, especially those of you who struggle with the sit-ups, feeling it in your neck too much. All the way back, pull your way up. This could be a good one to work on to get those abs and sit-up exercises feeling better. Good. Now side to side, side, back to the center. Drop those shoulders down. Tuck those shoulder blades into those little pockets. Side and up. Side and up. Keep going. Lovely. Now tuck the chin, lengthen out up through the back of the neck. Think about giving yourself a little double chin. Rotate with that chin tucked back. Rotate the other way. Good. Feel all sorts of stretching and creaking and crunching, no doubt. Lovely. One more each side. Nice. Okay, turning to face one way. Up on the back toe, we're going to do some split squats. So your toes should be pointing forwards. You're up high on that back foot, your hands are on your hips, your bottom's tucked under. Let's do 10. 1, 2, okay. 3, squeeze your bum. 4, 5, 6, pull up through the back foot. 7, 8, 2 more. 10. Lovely. Swap sides. Step the other leg back. Whoop. Up high on the toe. Bottom under tummy in. Back knee down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, Lily. 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 9. 10. Lovely, bring that leg in. Good, just a couple. Okay, staying on that side, then facing to the side. If you can have your fingertips on something, then great, but don't worry if you can't. Remember this one, the RDL, taking the leg back and the body forwards, everything pointing forwards to some kind of arabesque kind of thing, and then come back up. Forwards, and come back up. Straight standing leg. Everything going in line. 3, 4, 5. Everything strong. 6. Try not to rely on that surface too much. 7. Pull yourself back up. 8. 2 more. 9. 10. Lovely. You can turn the other way, or you can keep going on that side if you want to, but not the same leg, but other leg, but stay the same way anyway. To be safe, turn to the other side. Okay, everything pointing forwards, and the other leg now. So stretching that leg back, drawing in with your tummy, pulling yourself upright each time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, 10. Lovely. That's about enough, isn't it, on those legs, with all the standing up work. So standing on the end of your mat, tuck down through your chin and curl, curl, curl down all the way to the bottom. Hanging there briefly. Breathe in and out. That really helps with the stretch. Breathe into the stretch. Bend and straighten each knee. One knee bent at a time. Pushing each knee back. Great. Let your head go heavy, your arms go heavy. Really important in this position to just let those go for once, for a change. Good work. Bend your knees and come forwards onto the mat. Feet, knees and hands hip width apart. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your feet, and just rock forwards and backwards a couple of times. Just all of this wrist care that we've been concentrating on the last couple of sessions. Great. Lovely. Turn your hands back. Go on, Lily, okay. Turn your hands back and just sink very slightly. It's hardly perceivable. Very slightly back. Hands side to side. You need to bring them in a little bit, to be honest. So side to side. Good. And then one at a time, turn them under. I should do the camera one first. So turning under like that and having a little stretch there. Good. Place that one down, the other side, just brief with each one of these. But if you do them regularly, wrists and hands and forearms should feel a little bit looser. Some of you might not even notice that they've got tight. So either way, it's just a nice way of working on those. Sinking back into the heels. Breathe out. Come up and sink forwards into the hips. Good. Sink back into the heels. And forwards into the hips. Oh, they might have done a leap. Back. Forwards. One more of each. Back. Nice. Okay, so in this position, stretch forwards with the right arm and left leg. Always good to have a little pause there, and then you get a chance to hold on through your tummy. So contract through your tummy to make sure that's really nice and strong. Picking up, down, and in. And then swap sides, the other arm and the other leg. Good, out, lift, down, and in. Good, swap, out, lift, down. I mean, I haven't given myself enough room today. Out, lift, oh my gosh. Note to self, always move the chair. Great, keep going. One more each side. Lovely. Okay, turning over onto your back. Heels firmly down into the floor. Coming up tall. Sitting down through the sitting bones. You should feel those through the floor. Up tall. Drop the shoulders. Arms out in front of you. Curl back. Scoop in your tummy. And then pull yourself up tall. Curl back, scoop in, and then pull up tall. Good. Being careful not to go too far on these. Some people tempting to go all the way to the floor. It's not this exercise. This exercise is to create that nice stop there, and then pull yourself back up. Make sure those shoulders are dropped. It's nice to breathe in as you come up, breathe out as you come down. So that sort of squeezes the air out. Nice. Now then, we're going to pull the arm back as you come back, round the side as you come back up. Scoop back along the body, around the side to come forwards. Scoop along the body, around to come forwards. Good. Scoop along. It's nice to follow it with your head and neck. Follow the arm. Good amount to go high so I don't knock my water bottle off. But you can go straight. Go back and round. One more each side. Really draw in that tummy. Lovely. Good. Coming down onto the floor. Cool. So make sure those feet are hip width apart. And the knees are hip width apart as well. Some people's knees drop in. I'm always in a class where I'm in a room correcting people's knees, either bringing them closer together. The men tend to drop their knees out, women tend to drop their knees together. So keep them in line. Think about train tracks. Shoulders, hips, shoulders, ribs, hips, knees, feet, everything in line as if you were standing up. Tuck through the chin, lengthen up through the back of the neck. Broaden out the chest, and you should feel a little bit of contact of the backs of the shoulders down towards the floor. Breathe in, breathe out, and sink those ribs down. Find a little arch in the back. Tighten and lift through the pelvic floor. Hands on the front of the hips there, and then you know what they're doing. Good. And then start lifting one leg up at a time. So one little trick with Pilates is to not think about the moving leg as the one doing the work. It's always the one on the floor. So that's the one providing the stability. So if you think about pushing down gently through the leg that's on the floor, the other leg should float up a little bit easier. And you should get a sense that through the middle here, you're working a little bit. On these initial exercises, there shouldn't be a feeling of massive exertion. You should actually feel that there's not a lot having to happen for you to keep nice and stable. Good. Make sure that chin is tucked, the chest is open. One more each leg. Lovely. And to continue with these easier exercises for the deep abdominals, then dropping one knee sideways and come back up. I shouldn't say drop, I should say lower. Lower one knee sideways and come back up again. When you lower, you think about that glute working. Lower, that glute's working. And the other leg is working by pushing down into the floor. Hands on the front here is quite good, and then you get a sense of whether things are rocking from side to side. You also get a sense of what your abdominals are doing as well. Good. Rolling onto the outside of the foot, but keeping that a very strong, stable foot and ankle as well. Brilliant. Now tabletop, out, in, down. Always a nice strict tabletop position. I'm always correcting this one as well. So making sure the knees above the hip. When you stretch out, your thighs are level. So you can put your hands on your thighs there to check that they're level. Tabletop, out, in, and down. Drawing in your tummy. Down. Good. There should be a bit more going on in here with this exercise, especially because you're stretching that leg away. Good. One more each side. Lovely, and on to level 2 of each exercise. So right leg up, draw in your tummy. You need to layer up the muscles now. So you're pushing the ribs down and trying to get a feeling of like a crunch happening in the front. Right leg up, left up, right down, left down. Draw in through that lower tummy. Keep that chest open. Keep that chin tucked. And with one hand across or two hands across, you can feel whether your tummy bulges outwards as you pick up the second leg. So that should be fine. And as you pick up that second leg, you need to really work to draw in. Think about someone in there with an umbrella that they're drawing in and down, while the umbrella's that squeezes in. Relax your breathing. You will notice with my Pilates, I don't talk a lot about breathing, so just gently breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, up, up, down, down. And then a swap of the legs. Reset yourself before you start the other leg though. Always nice to reset from top to bottom. Good. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Good. Always trying to keep that tummy as flat as possible. Two more. Lovely. Both feet on the floor, toes pointing forwards, hands behind your head. Tuck the chin purposefully before you start, and your eye line should be at your knees. Elbows wide and start to crunch. Good. Keeping that little arch in the back. Keeping your chin tucked. 9, 10. Let's lift the right leg up for 10. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Push down into the other foot. Makes things a bit easier. Brilliant. Swap legs. For 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep those elbows wide. Brilliant. Good stuff. Knees and toes together, hands on the ribs, elbows out to the side, pick up the hip and the foot, roll the knees over. So you should get that nice stretching through the lower back and twisting, but don't take the knees too far that the ribs want to move, hence the hands are on the ribs. Pull back to the centre, other side, pick up the hip and foot, and pull back. Good, good. Brilliant. Breathe in, breathe out as you rotate. Breathe in, breathe out as you rotate. Good. One more each side. Nice. Separate your knees and your toes again. Step them out. Good. Ribs are down, chin tucked. We can have both legs up in tabletop now. Squeeze in your tummy, both legs are up. We're tapping, tap, lift, tap, lift. Good. Nice. As you go throughout a series of exercises like this, keep thinking about squeezing in your tummy. Keep working out what you need to do to stabilise and tighten and work. Keeping your chest open, your chin tucked. Good, now 20 fast ones. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lovely, both legs down. Good stuff. Okay, on to the next, which is both legs again up in tabletop. So I hope those hips feel all right. One leg sideways and come back up. So they're in the same position, but if they're doing a different movement, they seem to be able to cope with it, keeping the ribs down. Chest open, chin tucked. Keeping that tension on, drawing those ribs down. Trying to find that stability through tightening the pelvic floor and the deep muscles, as well as drawing the ribs down and getting the outer muscles to work a little bit more as well. Four more. Both legs down. Good. Then a set of hundreds to give those hip flexors a rest. Chin tucked, chest off. Keep that arch in the back. Stretch your fingertips down towards your toes. Up and down with your hands. Good. Keep drawing in that lower tummy. Remember, your head and shoulders can be down for a slightly easier level. Brilliant. Let's just work the right arm. So the left hand goes behind the head and the right leg comes up to tabletop and that right arm goes up and down. Now swap sides. Bring that leg down, the other leg up, and swap the arms around. Off we go. Brilliant. Come back down. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to have both legs in tabletop and take the arms up in front as well. Right arm straight up, left leg out. So if you're choosing to have the other leg down on the floor, you can continue on the same side. And for ease, let's do the same if you've got the leg up. 2, 3, keep that tummy scoops in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 more. 10. Swap seamlessly to the other side. 1, 2, clunk. 3, 4, draw in the tummy. 5, 6, 2 more. That's a hard one, so bring your knees in. Roll them a little bit from side to side. Good work. Now, put your hands underneath your bum there on the floor, and then roll back down so that your hips are on top and the legs are out here. I just want some little pulses of both legs out. Keep your tummy drawn in. If you do feel like you've got the strength to go all the way out, then do, but I prefer for you to stay pulsing in and out like that. Knees and toes are together. 6, just 10 of these. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. One leg down at a time. Brilliant. So that's a nice series of abs there. Let's turn on to the side for some glutes. I think come up onto the elbow today, if you feel comfortable to do so. Get that nice line down through the front of your chest, from your chin down through. So otherwise it would be a banana line there. If you pull yourself up, so the way to do that is to push that top hip away and push up and away through that elbow. Good. Feet are in line, lifting your top knee. Good. 10. Now with your feet up. Good. We're going to speed through this to get some other things done. 10. Bottom leg down, top leg forwards and backwards, keeping strong through your middle. 6, 7, 10. Now stretch that leg out and stretch the other arm out as well. And I want you to pull the elbow to the knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Works well with arm weights or leg weights. 8, 9, 10. Good stuff. Okay, other side. Up onto that elbow to start with. That's my drink. Up onto the elbow to start with. Bottom hip back. Push up out of the elbow. Find a good place for it. Feet in line. And then lifting your top knee. Good. Feet up. 2, 3, 4. 10. Bottom leg down, top leg forwards and backwards. 2, 3, 4. Keep breathing. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now stretch that leg out and the arm out, elbow to knee. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brilliant. Okay, turning over onto your back. Good. Feet close to your bottom, arms down by your sides, chest open, chin tucked, tucking under, pushing the knees away, and then curl, curl, curl back down. Good. Let's do 3 of these, just plain shoulder bridges, tucking your bottom under, push the knees away, keep the ribs down, and then push the ribs down first to curl back down. Good. Last one, just plain, curling up, and curling back down. Good. And then we're going to curl up and then straighten one leg out at a time and come back down. It's quite good to have a nice prep for this one. Take your weight onto the right leg, straighten out the left. Take the weight on your left, straighten out the right. Good. Let's try and do 10. 2, 3, 4. Keep your tummy scoops in. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice, and curl back down, pull your knees in as a top. Good. Breathe again. Let's try and do that one up on the toes. So when you bring your feet down up onto the toes. Curl yourself up, and let's do 10 up on the toes. 1, place the foot down. 2, be careful putting that foot down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stay up on the toes and let's do 10 out and in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice to spring on you. 10. Lovely. Curl back down. Brilliant. So bring your feet out in line. Lovely. So a bit of stretching to finish. So let's see, with one leg forwards like that and the other leg back. Both hands out in front of you, so you've got your hand and your foot together there, and the other hand out to the side. Stretch up with that leg. Good. And then it's the same hand that's next to your foot, so your left hand stretches up and then down to the floor. Now remember, you can have that back knee down if you want to. 2, feel like it today. 3, 4, 5. Good. Other leg forwards. Put my sock back. So remember, you can have that leg straight or bent at the back, and off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brilliant. Step that foot back and sit back into your heels. Walk your hands over to the right. Hook the top one over and then sink back into it. Have a little adjustment. Feel where you need to move in order to feel this stretch. Walk your hands to the other side and sink into it. Good. Bringing the hands forwards and stretch one leg forwards into it. So you can see I'm not here. I've got the foot tucked around and then sinking down to stretch that glute. Again, remember to breathe into these stretches. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. Bring that leg back, bring the other leg forwards and sinking down, so tucking that foot around like that. Good, and relax down into it as much as you can. These can be quite aggressive feeling stretches. Stuff. Bringing both legs out into a V. I know a lot of you hate these with the legs out in a V. Stretching those inner thighs and then coming over. Good. And then to the other side. I know these can feel quite uncomfortable. So we'll do one each side like that. And then maybe just with the hands behind you pushing forwards. Just pushing the chest up and forwards can be enough with this stretch. Or it might be a matter of having your hands forwards there and just leaning slightly forwards into it. See if you can roll the feet forwards and backwards like that. Can be quite an interesting feeling through those hips. Good. Okay, coming up. So let's cross the legs. Let's find the position that you feel most comfortable in with your legs crossed, or sitting on your heels or come up onto a chair. So you're going to stretch one arm over and push it down. The way I do my tricep stretches is I use the thumb here to push and bend at the elbow. So I pull with my fingers and push down with the thumb. And for me, that gives me a nice stretch down through there. Keep yourself really upright. Whatever position you've chosen to use, keep yourself nice and upright. Good. And then the other side, so getting the fingers around the elbow and the thumb on the back. And you're pushing into the thumb to stretch through the tricep. Good. Lovely. So this stretch for the median nerve, which is the one that causes the most of the problems. We're coming back with the fingers and then forwards. So the shoulder is down, the arms out to the side, and we're stretching backwards with the fingertips there. Lovely. Other side. Having that hand on the shoulder can really help. Take the arm out to the side, turn the fingertips back, and then you just turn the fingertips backwards with each one. Lovely. Onto your hands and knees. I want you to drop and lift through those shoulder blades just to have a stretch around the chest and the shoulders and the arms. And then through the pelvis, so just the lower back for this one. And then try and incorporate the whole back, all the way up, all the way back down, and the head can get involved as well. Last one. Good. Turning the toes under, stretching your bottom up and sinking back down into the heels. Now you think about broadening the back around the shoulders, pushing the heels down to the floor, and then think about bending and straightening each knee, pushing each heel down to the floor. Walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. Breathe in and out a couple of times there. Let yourself sink down. In and out again. And then peel up. Tuck your bottom under first. And curling up one at a time. One vertebra at a time. Roll the shoulders. Good. And that's us done. Yeah! Yay!